All right, welcome back once again, everyone, to our round three of groups here at LSL 44. I'm once again Omazen. I'm here with Marshy, and we've had quite a few exciting sets the past few rounds here, especially that last one with Ufish versus Market Mayhem. So, we're going to be going up into this next match here with Rock the Boat versus Friendly Fire on Clam, Blitz, Crableg, Capital. Looking at both of these teams right here, I do want to highlight some of their past accomplishments and how they're doing so far in this tournament. Both teams, in particular, it seems that they typically place in bronze brackets when it comes to other tournaments. So I think they're both fairly on, and when it comes to maybe how they'll compete against each other, they're on equal footing here. I think that's a good way to put it. With our other team here being Rock the Boat, doing a good job of actually getting a solid result in their last match here in group stage number 2. So we're going to be getting right into it on this match here.
Yeah, absolutely. I just briefly missed the weapons that loaded in, but I do see a ballpoint on both ends right there. That will be interesting to see. I wonder if both of them will really try contesting each other, or will they really just take a further back approach? As we can see, Rock the Boat is just getting that middle ground very confidently right now and pushing in, but as we can see, they don't exactly have the clams to create a ball right now, so I assume that they have someone working on getting the ball right now. As we can see, they have, and they have taken a scoring already in the first 30 seconds of the game right now, with Friendly Fire just pushing them back right now, stopping them from getting any more points into their basket right now, the ball point right now, just as we can see, working with the Crab Tank right now to see if they can scope anybody out and really stop any further pushing for at least a little bit of time to really help them get back on their feet right now.
Agreed. And looking here, we do see it's been a bit interesting. We started the match off with Rock the Boat just getting one ball in barely, and then they kind of had to all back up, and a few of them even went down as Friendly Fire almost got back up into Rock the Boat's plat. But we do see Rock the Boat here with a much more solid push on their hands, kind of making Friendly Fire a bit staggered overall. With 28 remaining already and a few more clams still coming through. We do see the Zap player from Rock the Boat go down, but the rest of the players still holding strong. And we just see Friendly Fire. They keep staggering. They keep going down one by one, trying to just make something happen, trying to get Rock the Boat back. And that's actually game. We saw what was, I believe, like an 80-0 push just about. And that's with also some of that those other points that they'll have to also get through in order to get additional points on the board. So, wow, okay, that went fast. Any comments from your end?
They did that. I was just watching as you were talking, observing how um Rock the Boat was really good at holding back Friendly Fire and really staggering them as individuals to really single them out. As we can see, the Zap player being taken down quite a few times, trying to get back in and really stop the push, but they were just consistently carrying clams back and forwards towards the basket right there, and just was able to take the first game in, I believe, was less than 2 minutes actually.
Yeah, just about there. I think another thing that's kind of difficult to work around with Clam Blitz that's a bit of an RNG factor is just where the clams will be spawning in your favor. And I think that's something that worked out pretty nicely for Rock the Boat. They didn't have to venture too far when they wanted to get a few more clams on themselves to throw into Friendly Fire's basket and get more points for them. And yeah, it just overall played out fairly nicely. They were able to get the picks they needed. They were able to put Friendly Fire into a stagger situation. And to Rock the Boat's benefit, they never really went down outside of that Zap player once, who was able to actually get more clams on their comeback too. So overall, shouts to Rock the Boat for a very strong impression there. And we'll be heading into Rainmaker Robo here in just a second. But yeah, I think something else that's going on here is Rock the Boat's maybe taking a bit of that momentum they had from just last round where they had a 2-1 win over Turbo Torben, a team that we actually saw just a week ago in Minnow
Turbo
Cup.
Tobin is my partner's team actually.
Oh, really? Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah. So
All right,
that's
so maybe a little bit
interesting.
biased here.
I have no bias. I don't.
Oh,
I
no
don't
bias.
judge. I don't judge people based on if I know them or not. Don't worry.
All
I
good,
think
all
that's a
good.
very I think that can be very unfair at the end of the day.
Yes, no, agreed, agreed.
From what I can see, no real changes in comps right now. I'm pretty sure both teams are running the exact same comp they were running round one for Clam Blitz right now. But I'm very excited to see how it will differ playing on Robo ROM-en Rainmaker right now, considering every weapon really shines best in certain game modes. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to utilize themselves as players and as the weapons they are playing this game.
Yeah, completely agreed. And we do see Friendly Fire maybe trying to take the upper hand here this match with the Zap, kind of just launching themselves forward, unfortunately not getting any picks, kind of putting themselves into a 1v3 situation, unfortunately. And that will open up an opportunity for Octobo to get more members of Friendly Fire down, although we do see them both back up once again, and Rock the Boat taking this opportunity with Friendly Fire just now coming back from their spawn. To try to get the Rainmaker up, and we do see the Glooga unfortunately also fall off the map.
I was wondering what happened there, considering the screen kind of just went black for a couple of seconds. But as you said, they unfortunately fell off the map. It's very common with dualies, honestly, especially if the map doesn't have like pre-added blockers on the sides of the map.
Agreed. It's sort of like bowling, I guess is a nice way to put it. Like, if you have the finesse lacking just a little bit for a second, like you might have to watch out where you're rolling exactly. But back in terms of the game here, Friendly Fire doing a great job making sure that Rainmaker resets it, doesn't get too further up past that checkpoint. And I think the roller player overall doing a great job here of using their bubble to get some like space back for their team, making an interesting play there by doing the jump back to spawn, although they do just jump back right into the match, and taking that moment to kind of just remove themselves actually for a second and re-put themselves back into the game. So maybe Rock the Boat wasn't super aware of some of the positioning of the members of Friendly Fire.
I feel like jumping out and being able to really trick your opponent is quite an skillful thing to do, really, especially if you're jumping out. They assume that you're not there, but then if you have a cooler and you're cooled up, you can jump back there like straight away, especially if your teammates are able to push themselves back slightly without losing too much space and able to get the picks in, especially if before they were in a worse situation than they were when they jumped back in.
Agreed. No, absolutely. That's something that a lot of teams, especially when it comes to Soda, that will become very useful for them as they're trying to get certain engagements to play out in their favor. We do see two members of Friendly Fire here getting that dualies player a bit more back, a bit more uncomfortable, and maybe trying to turn some of the tides of this mid engagement from both ends in their favor. That Zap player trying to take a fight with the Inkjet, going down though, and also the roller player going down on the side of Friendly Fire. So this might provide an opportunity for Octobo to get back up again, to get that lead in their favor again. Because in this map, like, you can get a lot of points on board very quick. There's not a lot of, like, truly running that you have to do outside of, like, maybe that halfway point right past the check.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as we can see, we have a minute and a half left on the clock. Friendly Fire currently having the lead of 57 points. Rock the Boat being closely behind with 70. Rock the Boat currently is taking that Rainmaker and really just trying to push it up, picking off teammates, but unfortunately that dually player losing a 2v1 right there, which renders them out of the game. But they are slowly but surely inching themselves closer towards that podium right there to take the lead, a very quick lead if I do have to say so myself. The roller right there just like really forcing themselves in there and shocking the scene, scoping out their teammates slowly coming up closer behind to see if they can really take the picks of the need right now and stop a push essentially, or even so pushing themselves in to get more points to have a more comfortable lead. But as we can see, Rock the Boat's spawn currently is really covered in blue right now. Them able to get 30 points on that clock right there. 30 seconds left of the game. There is a 31-point difference between both sides. Unfortunately, Friendly Fire being wiped out by that Rainmaker explosion there, as Rock the Boat right now is just really trying to push themselves back in to hopefully take the lead at the end of the game with 15 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, and they're putting themselves into a good position to do that with this Inkjet player here doing a great job getting 2 important picks, eliminating Zap and trying to take away some of the soda potential from Friendly Fire. And despite all that, the Roller player kind of just said no. It's like, well, you forgot about me. You can't move up just yet. And the Rainmaker got a bit too antsy and went up anyways. So that's actually going to be this game on the side of Friendly Fire for the win. And we're going to be seeing kind of a match set situation where it's kind of in either team's favor. We saw Rock the Boat be very dominating last set, but Friendly Fire kind of playing the long game here in this round of our set. So yeah, we're going to be finishing everything off on Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime. And yeah, this is like a really interesting map just because of how it all kind of bowls into each other, kind of all dips into the center like a little bit of a crater. That's where a lot of your engagements typically take place. Any particular thoughts on your end, Marshy? I know that for me, when I look into this, I think that we might see some interesting plays from the Dooley in particular with their crab tank, but interested to hear what you might have to say.
I think it's interesting, really, seeing the potential of dually players. It can be any dualies in the class, really, but as we can see, both sides having a pair of Galugas and a pair of order dualies. Actually, it's not even the vanilla ones. They went fancy with those white order
Yeah.
dualies right there. I think it really depends on if your teammates are really able to back you up as a dually player, because you have a lot of DPS on your own, but you can be really strong if you have like a really strong tag team type situation, I guess you could say, having someone that back you up and really clean up any messes if they're not able to really get the kill that that they were after, really, you know.
Agreed completely there. And looking into this set here, I think Friendly Fire might have not just the energy from winning that last game and holding it down like very comfortably, but I think when it comes down to their comp, they might maybe even have the upper end here with certain weapons they have in their arsenal, like the Splat Roller. Like that does a great job with its bubble of taking up space, especially with this zone in particular, where everything considered, this is one of the smaller maps in the game, but the zone itself is even smaller, where it doesn't take that much to really flip it. You don't even need to take up that much paint on the opponent's preferred end of the zone itself in order to get the cap if your side's also painted. So looking ahead here, I think it's going to come down to maybe some shark plays. I think it's going to come down to maybe some crab tanks, some Zukas, similar weapons to all that. I think the inkjet that we saw previously from weapons like the ballpoint might be helpful too in certain pushes from both sides. But yeah, can't wait to see what happens here in just a moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As we're currently waiting to get everyone readied up, I think Barnacle and Dime Splat Zones is one of those maps that require a lot more faster pace weapons, especially with how cramped the middle can really be, especially if you are making a push, because there's only really three-ish routes that you can take on that map to really pressure the team with the side areas and in general just the ramps that are given to you.
Yeah, agreed.
From experience anyway. And we are going into game 3 right now, and we will just get a quick look at the comps, seeing if there's any difference. The Explo being brought out from Rock the Boat, and a Vanilla Slusher being brought out from Friendly Fire currently.
Yeah, true. And that Vanilla Slosher and Explo matchup, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking for here, particularly. The Explo, like, that splashdown on this map, too. Like, if you can get on that mid block, like, you can most likely get a map cheese or something very close to a spot zone cheese. And as I say that, we do see Friendly Fire completely wipe, although they will be back fast because of their soda. But this will still provide Rock the Boat the opportunity to maybe get them a bit uncomfortable, take some spots of the map in their favor. But as I say that, we do see the Inkjet doing a great job from the side of Friendly Fire, also pushing them back just a bit. So don't necessarily count out Friendly Fire just yet, even though the opening may have been one of Rock the Boat's favor here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I completely agree with what you're saying here. Rock the Boat currently is just having a really good lead right now, getting the points down on the counter, getting that wipeout, which will probably make it a little bit more difficult for Friendly Fire to really get themselves back in. But the Slosher right now just working on seeing what they can do with their strikes right now. Missing the third one actually and accidentally hitting a wall.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate for that. Not exactly what you want to see, especially when you're the team that's trying to move up here, but that's going to actually be the game in favor of Rock the Boat. I think here they really looked at what happened last match and were like, okay, we have to lock in. We have to make sure that we don't necessarily fumble this set in our favor. They did have the momentum from the previous set where they were able to pull off another 2-1 win. So kind of keeping that theming here. And yeah, I mean, shout out to them for like really just locking it down like that consistently across that whole match. Like they didn't have to necessarily go for too many cheeses really either. I think I maybe saw one splashdown from the Expo from our camera here. And it did a good job of like putting some extra pressure on the enemy team, but it didn't necessarily it wasn't even like something that you needed to rely on too heavily just because of the energy coming from the rest of the players. So yeah, a solid showing from Rock the Boat and also Friendly Fire, especially on that Rainmaker Robo match where they just dominated in their own right. So um, once again, that's been us. I believe we're going to be actually closing ourselves out here, Marshy, to let the new commentators come in. But yeah, where can everyone find you, Marshy?
You can find me on Twitter, as we can see on the stream. My Twitter handle is visible. I am on TikTok, and my TikTok is also the same as my Twitter handle. Conveniently, I kind of like decided to kind of just like brand myself with that name, so it's easier for people to find me.
Fun.
Um, what about you? Where can people find you?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Twitter at Omazon Monkey, and then you can also find me on Twitch at just Omazon. So I also do quite a bit with the CCA with our collegiate scene there as a podcast leader and staff member. So if you're ever interested in what's happening over there, feel free to check it out. But plenty of other amazing games here happening over at the Mulway Inc. Institute. So yeah, that's been about everything from us here today and hope you all have a great rest of your day and look forward to some additional great matches here from LSL 44. We'll all see you later.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to close out, Top Cut is currently in its makes of being currently calculated to see where everybody's gonna go. So after that short break of us figuring that out, we will be back with two new commentators who are, as I introduced them prematurely, it will be Emak and Topic, who will be commentating over the first few rounds of Top Cut.